Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Hey, Laura. How is everyone doing? Hello, Robin. Of course. Hey, Mary. Marilyn, as you're popping on, say hello. Barbara, hello, hello. How's everybody doing on this rainy evening? I spent the day with my niece at the DIA. Hey, Janice. So I had a day full of art and inspiration. What did everybody do today? Hey, Susan. All right, I'm a little early today, so we'll give it a minute. Christmas cards already, Marilyn. Oh, you're ahead of the game. The only Christmas cards I'm working on are the ones that I'm designing for our November all-day event. Mary Family Tree. Ooh, Susan, 300 kids. Wait. That's a lot. There were a lot of kids at the DIA today, though. I think there were several school groups. Hello, hello. Hey, Lois. Gabrielle, howdy. All right. So today we are going to talk about Distress Clear Rock Candy Glitter. And unfortunately, I haven't been to the store today. So I didn't get my new bottle of Clear Rock Candy Glitter. So it's the same glitter, it's just repackaged. So I'm working with these tubs that I have. It's the same glitter. So that is what we are going to talk about today. And I want to show you two different ways that you can color this glitter to match whatever you want. And I'm going to show you right here. This is our Michigan paper, and I matched some glitter to coordinate with it. I actually might use some glitter. Look at that. And what I used was patina. That's the color. So if I forget to tell you later, it's patina. But that is what we're going to talk about in a minute. I just made this right before the live. So, but let's see, it's 7 o'clock. So let's get started. Hello, Renee. Hey, Marianne. All right. So what I did was I prepped some pieces of, this is the mixed media heavyweight cardstock. And what I did, and by the way, I'll just mention this is these two techniques are Tim Holtz techniques. I did some research on this week. So if you watched the lives, you may have seen them, but I wanted to kind of condense the 2.5 hour live into our 15-minute show. So what I did was I took the mixed media cardstock and I gave it a very thin coat of white gesso. All right. So, and that is so that you get the true color coming through instead of anything that could potentially be tinted with that yellowy color that's on the paper or whatever color paper you're using. So I put a thin coat of gesso and let that dry. And then I took collage medium and did a thin coat of collage medium and then sprinkled the glitter all over. It was a 4.5, it was a 4.25, it was an A2 size piece of paper. Let it dry, or let the glitter dry, and then I cut it into these little pieces so that we could demo some things. So this one I just recently did, and you can see that you get the color on the background because you've got the white gesso, but you also still get the glittery glitter from the glitter. And I can see that it's quite a delay. So if I stop talking, it's because I'm letting the feed catch. Are we back? Yes, we're back. Okay. So I don't know what you heard or didn't hear, but what I was saying was I know someone's going to ask. The pearl alcohol inks won't give you the same effect because the pearl will dull the glitter. So it'll kind of be because the mica in the pearl will kind of take away from the sparkle of the glitter. So the pearl will not work. Just regular old alcohol ink. Okay. All right. So this one, like I said, was gesso on a piece of mixed media paper, then collage medium, the distress collage medium, and then the glitter. And then what I did was I took my ink blending tool and used a piece of felt, right? Because that's what we typically use with our alcohol inks. And I put some alcohol ink on my felt. This color that I'm going with right now is coral. All right, so I put some alcohol ink on here, and then I found that if you put a little bit of blending solution, it helps to distribute the color on the glitter. So a couple of drops, not a lot, and then you can just tap it. Tappity tap, tap, tap. And get your color on there. You can't really swirl it because the felt catches on the glitter and you'll pull it off. So what you want to do is just tap, tap, tap. And if you found that you didn't put enough alcohol ink on there, add some more, right? But you really only need a couple of drops. Now, when you first put it on there, it will be a bit dull, but once it dries and the solvent evaporates, you will have your glittery glitter back. Okay, so this is coral. All right. And we'll let that dry and then I'll show it to you again, okay? All right, let me wipe this off. Ooh, my last wipe of here. All right. And we'll put the lid back on the blending solution. So yes, a little dab of blending solution does help to get it spread on the paper. Now, these are just rectangles for demo purposes, but if you were putting glitter on a piece of paper and then you wanted to die cut it, this would be a perfect solution for getting your glitter to match exactly. All right, so now this is the glitter just loose that I dyed. And it just so happened that the color I picked and the amount of glitter that I put in, like I showed earlier, matches our scrappy sheet custom paper perfectly. All right, so that is patina. That is the alcohol ink patina. All right, so I just have these little jars that I got so that I can keep this glitter for when I want to use it. But what you want to do is have a plastic something to mix in. All right, so these are like the little medicine cups that you get with like NyQuil or whatever, or kids medicine. But you could use these little tiny shot glasses. You could use these little tiny plastic cups. Really, whatever you've got. Okay, so what I did was I took some of my glitter, poured it in my cup. All right. You will also need a stirring utensil. These are just popsicle sticks I probably got at the dollar store. A paper towel. So I've got a paper towel here, and of course, some alcohol ink. Let's do gumball. So all you do, I mean, this is pretty easy. This part is super easy. Well, actually, it's all super easy. It just takes a couple minutes. You just squirt some alcohol ink in there and start to mix. Now you're going to see it kind of clumps up a little bit. You just want to keep mixing, 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 just like you're mixing batter for cookies. Scoop up from the bottom so you got all that glitter on the bottom stirred in and coated with your alcohol ink. Now, when it dries, it will lighten up a little bit, not too much. Also, you really should make sure that you have an open space with ventilation, because as you're stirring this, that kind of swirls up the fumes from the alcohol. All right, so I'm just going to give you that public service safety announcement. Now, if you wanted it to have been lighter, you could have put only one drop. If you want it to be darker, you could add more. So remember, you can't take away once it's in there, but you can add to it. All right, so I am going to leave that like that. I am going to put the lid on this. Now, what you want to do is take your glitter and pour it out on your paper towel, because what you're going to do is kind of spread it out, make sure that you got all the clumps, and then let it dry. All right, because once you let it dry, you can scoop it right up and put it in your little container. It only takes a minute or two to dry. Mary's asking, do you have to use alcohol inks? No. What you need to make sure you have is a solvent-based colorant. And the reason it has to be the solvent-based is so that the dye sticks to the glitter, right? We talked about it. And then the solvent will evaporate so that your glitter gets back to its loose state, right? Because it's kind of a little bit, kind of like wet sand right now, because you put the alcohol ink in there. So that's why you're kind of letting it dry. And look, it's pretty much almost dry already. You can kind of, you can just kind of tell from the way it moves. All right. So it made it a little bit easier if you kind of scraped it into a little pile here. And then here's our little container. And because it's a paper towel, you might have to go a couple of times. You don't want to waste any of that sparkly goodness. So you just kind of scrape it like this. And that's how quick it dries. It really does dry that quick. Now, let's just say that if you put a lot more ink in there than I did, it might take a little bit longer to dry. If you put less, it might be dry faster, right? You know how that works. Less is more. Now look at that. You still have the sparkle, and now it's nice and pink. Pinkety pink. Can you see that? Can you see how now it's all dry already and it's sparkling? Oh, I got a little piece of something black in there. Okay. Oops. Let me hold it in the camera frame so you can actually see it. But look at that. Already sparkling again. And now we've got pink. Put the lid on because, you know me, I'll spill it. And now we have two custom colors of rock candy. And what Tim was saying when he was talking about the size of the jar that he selected was because once you start doing this, you really can't stop. It's very addicting. And you just have to experiment because you can actually use the colors of alcohol ink to match distress colors. You just have to start with a little and keep adding if you need it to be a little darker. So, like, Leaf is very close to Twisted Citron. I don't know why I remember that one, but I did. All right, Mary's asking a question. Robin's saying, "Where did that little jar come from?" Good question, Robin. I'll have to check for you. I had these little jars for when I was teaching classes, and I need to I need to give the students a little bit of paste or glue or something. So I don't remember where they came from, but we can look into that. And then what would happen if you put rubbing alcohol on it? Yes, it would take the color off, Mary. I don't know if it would totally take the color off of the glitter, but it would make it lighter. Um, I haven't tried it. That would be something good to try. But I would imagine it would move the color around because that's what it does when you're using it on paper, right? On Yupo or whatever. It kind of spreads the color out. All right. Does anybody have any other questions that I might be able to answer? The other thing too is that you can use your little containers again. You just have to keep it in the same color family. You don't want to use a pink one after you wipe it out just in case for yellow, because then you would probably have orange. So if you needed to, you could reuse your little containers. Any other questions? Who got their big jar of Distress Rock Candy glitter today? Who went to the store and got theirs? Well, I think some of you are probably going to get yours tomorrow when you go into the store. Better grab them up fast because there's big talk about them and they are flying out. Kim, you getting yours tomorrow or did you go today? All right. I don't see any other questions. So I am going to say adios. Don't forget, this Sunday, the 15th, is the second Michigan Memory Dex class, and it is a Christmas themed one. The actual box is in the store, so if you want to check it out, you can, or check online. There's some pictures. And then at the end of the month, we've got the Nightmare Before Christmas card class with 4 Spellbinders cards, and then it's not on the calendar yet, but I'm going to give you a peek of one of the cards that I just did for the November event, which is another Spellbinders event with a card kit that you get so much stuff in. So here's a little peek of one of the cards. There's going to be 8 in this class. Peek. Oh, the delay is terrible. All right, that's all you got. That's one of them. Okay. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Check out the classes. Come and crop with us. Lots going on. New product coming in all the time. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. And we will be seeing you soon.